So we'll go ahead and lay down on our backs. We're going to start off with some nice gentle breathing to kind of get us into the zone. So maybe one hand on the belly and one hand on the lower rib cage here. Option to close your eyes and just listen to my voice. We're going to start with some nice deep breathing here. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Your hands are just observing what's going on. So notice where your breathing is coming from. And ask yourself, what is moving, what's expanding, what's contracting down? On this next one, start to send your focus a little bit more to that exhale. Exhale a little bit more forcefully. Wanting to hear your breath throughout the whole class. And notice with your hands if that changes anything in terms of how you're breathing and where you're breathing from. On the next one, starting to activate a little bit more underneath our hands as we exhale. See if you can draw that belly button up and in. Maybe tuck the rib cage down just a little bit more. And then inhale and just relax and release that sensation. Nothing changes in the position of your spine. It stays neutral. We're not actively pressing down. We're not arching. But just see if you can make your rib cage feel a little bit flatter here so that ribs aren't sticking quite as high up. Starting to feel that gentle heat coming right in towards the center of the body. On this next one, we're going to exhale and activate here. Hold that gentle activation and continue normal breathing. On this last one, exhale and just release and relax here. Go ahead and grab your ball or your block. We're going to take it to just our thighs. So, on the next one, similar exercise, but here we're going to exhale and press down on our ball or block with straight arms. So, inhaling through the nose, exhale, just a gentle press down. Pulling that belly button in, and then inhale, relax. A few more times like that. Exhale, notice how this feels in your center. Ask yourself if it's easier, if it makes more sense, if you're able to kind of lock in that sensation a little bit more. On this next one, exhale, hold that activation in your center, continue normal breathing. Head, neck should be nice and relaxed. Good. And transfer that ball now to one leg. So I'm going to lift my left leg. Ball or block is going to sandwich in between hand, and opposite leg. So now we're in this tabletop position. Exhale, press, activate, hold. Inhale, release on that ball just a little bit. Two more like that. Exhale, push. Matching equal pressure between opposite hand and opposite leg. If you're pushing too hard, you'll feel a lot of work in your hip flexor and your leg, so make sure you're not pushing that hard. Same thing on the other side, so switching sides. Now my left hand connects to right knee. Exhale, push, squeeze. Inhale, release. Think about this as completing a full circuit. So now your core is active, and we're connecting all of this through the upper body and the lower body and your center. Good, last one here. Perfect. Transfer that ball to right in between your knees. Block works as well. Just a gentle squeeze here. We're going to inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, just squeeze those knees together even harder. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Feel your inner thighs starting to warm up. On this next one, squeeze in, hold that gentle squeeze, and start to do a few pelvic tilts here. So tailbone lifts and then lowers. Maybe hands come to the sides of your hips so you can feel this rocking sensation. As your tailbone lifts and as you're squeezing in on the ball, think about as if you're trying to zip up a really tight pair of pants and your lower abdominals are scooping up and in. On this next one, starting to make your rock a little bit bigger, your tilt a little bit higher, lifting into those bottom lower vertebrae. Each time, lifting just one vertebrae up higher, segmentally rolling, and ask yourself if you can still feel it in those lower abdominals, helping you out here in addition to the glutes and hamstrings. On this last one, holding at the top, whether that means for you halfway or all the way, find a comfortable position and hold here. Squeezing in on that ball or block, pause, and release. Exhale, squeeze, pause, and release.
Madeline, I muted you by accident, sorry.
Oh. There we go. So we were up in our bridge here, squeezing, pausing, and releasing on that ball. On this last one, squeeze and hold, squeezing as hard as you can, breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower those hips, hug your knees into the chest. Rock from side to side if that feels good. Perfect. Feet come back down onto your mat. We're going to do one more set of bridges here. Exhale, lift the hips, still squeezing gently into that ball or block. Hold here at the top. From here, we're going to see if we can extend one leg straight and long, still maintaining contact with your ball or block. Reach that leg long and then bend back in. Switching sides. Exhale, reach long and lower. As you're doing this, trying your best to keep hips nice and level. Maybe fingertips come to the front of your hips. Last one on each side. If you lose your ball or block, that is okay. Good, and slowly lower down. Hug those knees into your chest again. Keeping it right there, we're going to float the legs into a tabletop. So knees coming directly over top of the hips, knees bent at 90. Taking a few deep breaths here, setting ourselves up for success. Spine stays nice and neutral, and just breathe. On this next one, we're going to hug those knees and that ball in closer to your chest. See if you can curl your tailbone off of the mat. And then slowly back to tabletop, knees directly over the hips. Exhale, pull in. See if you can just lift that tailbone, lift those lower vertebrae, and slow back to the top. Few more just like this, feeling those lower abs really kick in. Last one here. into your chest. This next one, the opposite direction here, so instead of pulling in towards us, legs come back into tabletop. We're going to exhale, push long and straight. Bend back in. Being careful of how low your legs go. Mine are about 45 degrees, almost a little bit higher than that, so I can make sure that my spine stays neutral. Your spine shouldn't change between the position of knees bent in tabletop and them extending straight. So pay attention to that. Last two. Exhale, push away. Inhale, pull in. Last one. Perfect. Hug those knees into your chest. From here, let's roll over onto our side. We're going to take our ball or block with us. We're going to set it up right in front of our belly buttons here. Head can be supported in your hand or relax down on your arm, whichever is more comfortable. Knees can be bent. We're going to do another activation exercise here with the ball or block. So, I want you to relax your belly all the way. Let it just fall towards the ground, towards your mat. And then hand is going to just gently press into that ball. As you exhale, I want you to just try to lift everything up and in. Think about a wrapping sensation in your core. And then inhale, release on that ball, relax your belly. Notice the difference between those two positions. Exhale, push down, pull in. Inhale, release. Exhale, push down, pull in. Inhale, release. Last one. Hold here, hold that wrapping sensation, pulling belly button up and off of your mat, and breathe normally here. Hold that gentle pressure down on the ball or block. Hold that activation in your center, and breathe normally. Last two, and one. Relax all the way down. We're going to prop up onto our forearm if that feels okay for you. Elbow directly underneath the shoulder, neck nice and long. We're going to take that ball or block and wedge it right behind that top knee. Perfect. So a little squeeze here for the hamstrings. Top hand on the top hip. From here, we're going to start to just slide that knee back a few inches and slide it forward a few inches. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Reminder to lift through those lower ribs. On this next one, hold here right underneath you. We're going to squeeze in on that ball. Pulsing in, heel drawing towards your hips. Last two. On this last one, hold that squeeze. Little lifts. Up an inch, down an inch. Last three, two, hold, knee points down, knee points up. So it's a little swivel. Knee down, heel up, knee up, heel down. We're here for last two. And one. Good. Take that ball out from under you, and we're going to swivel it around to the other side, laying all the way down, either onto our hand or resting on our arm. Ball goes right in front of the belly button. Legs stay relaxed. Exhale, push gently down on that ball or block. Lift belly button up and off of that mat. Inhale, release down. Really seeing and asking yourself if you can feel the difference between these two positions, how it feels in your center. Few more. In this position, we are engaging our core against gravity here. So noticing how gravity acts on our belly when we're laying on our side, and how we can activate those deep stabilizer muscles from this position. On this last one, press down with your arm, lift up with your belly, and hold here, breathing normally. We want to make sure that we're not associating our activation of the core with an inhale or sucking in. Should be able to breathe. Perfect. And relax everything down. Propping up onto that forearm here with elbow directly underneath the shoulder. Wedging that ball or block right in the knee pit, I call it. Squeezing it there. And then from here, draw that top leg back a few inches. Inhale, draw it forward. Another reminder to lift up and out of the waist here. Shoulder down, away from your ear. On this last one, hold with that knee directly underneath you. Little squeezes in on that ball or block. Little pulses, activating that hamstring. On this last one, hold the squeeze. Little lifts, inch up, inch down with that entire top leg. Good. On this last one, hold lifted, just a little swivel, knee points down, toes point up, and switch. Perfect. Last 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Take that ball to the side for a moment. Come down onto your back. And we're going to stretch it out in a figure 4, crossing one ankle over the knee. Either maintaining this position and rocking, or you can grab up underneath that leg, pulling gently in towards your chest. Taking a few nice deep breaths here. Noticing where that sweet spot is. Hold there and breathe. When you're ready, switch it around to the other side. Opposite ankle over opposite knee. Reminding ourselves that the glutes are a very big muscle and they fan from one side to the other so that not all the muscle fibers are running in one direction. That's why I really like to bring some movement into it so we can stretch all along those muscle fibers. Perfect. From here, bringing both feet back down towards your mat. We're going to take our ball or block back into our arms and raising the arms up towards the ceiling. From here, either hold with feet flat on your mat or lift into tabletop. We're going to maintain this position and we're going to take the arms slowly overhead and then slowly back towards the ceiling. Again, we can do this in tabletop or feet down. As As we do this and as we move the arms, again, nothing should move in the spine. We're maintaining this same position. On this next one, hands back towards the ceiling. Hold here. Extend one leg straight and long and bend it back in. Exhale, straighten, lengthen, and lower. Good, last one on each side. Perfect. Hug those knees into your chest. Good. Extend arms and legs nice and long. Take a long stretch away from the center of the body like you've just woken up. From here, we're going to try for a full body roll up. So, trying our best to keep this nice and segmental. If we can't get all the way up, that is okay. Just lifting as high as we can and then lowering back down. Maybe ball or block stays between your hands. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, start with the arms, the head, neck, and shoulders. And lifting with the chest, keeping neck long, and slowly lower down. If you were able to get up a little bit higher, maybe reaching towards those toes, and then slowly rolling down, shoulders away from the ears. On this next one, rolling all the way up to a seated position. If you needed some help and support to get there, that is okay. Separating your feet about hip distance apart. We're going to place the ball to the side for now. Arms are going to come out to a T, so nice and wide. We're here for our saw. So, sit up as tall as you can, pulling belly button up and in. Exhale, twist to one side, pinky fingers come towards pinky toes. Pulse, 2, 3, and sit back up nice and tall. Exhale, pulse, 2, 3, and lift. Good. A few more like that. Noticing a nice hamstring stretch and noticing some nice rotation coming through the spine. Last one on each side. Perfect. Take a gentle lean forward, just reaching towards those toes. Let your head and neck hang heavy. Perfect. Start to shimmy those legs back to the center. And then scooting forward on your mat. Knees bent, toes pointing upwards. Arms out towards the front. We're going to take a nice C curve, rounding through the spine, belly button pulls in. Check back in with your shoulders, make sure they're not up towards your ears. Relax them down. Hold here if you can. We're going to hover one leg up to tabletop and float it back down. Alternating sides. Keep that breathing going. Making this more challenging by lowering the chest an inch, or less challenging by raising the chest up an inch. Last one on each side. And relax down in your butterfly stretch, soles of the feet together, nose to toes. Coming back into that same position, round your spine a lot, knees back up towards the ceiling. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe this time we're going to float both legs up into our boat pose. Find stillness here. Nothing fancy. Just feeling all those small muscles contracting and trying to stabilize us. Breathing here. Last 3, 2, 1. Relax down back into butterfly, nose to toes. This time, take your left hand, reaching it up towards the ceiling, looking towards that hand. And switching sides, right hand up towards the ceiling, looking towards that hand. Perfect. Back towards the center. Let's go ahead and roll onto our hands and knees. Take this off. Starting off with a few cat and cows here. So hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. Exhale around the spine, look at your belly button. Tuck your tailbone. Inhale. Chest comes down, belly lowers, slight look up. Few more just like this. On this next one, find your flat back. So we've established the round and the arch. Find somewhere in the middle a nice flat back. Now, take your focus to your head. Is it drooping down? Is it sticking up like a turtle? Think about your head maintaining that length through your spine so that your face is still right in between your hands and the back of your neck is nice and long. From here, we're going to reach one arm right overhead, inhaling, exhale it back down. Switching sides. Try your best not to shift too much from side to side. Perfect. Last one on each. If you need to, take a break to roll out the wrists. Otherwise, we're going to do the same thing now with the lower body. So finding that flat back. From here, extend one leg long along your mat. And it floats right an inch off. And then send it back down, switching sides. Don't forget about your head. Stays in line with the rest of your body. Think about as if someone was pulling your leg away from the center of you. Taking a break, maybe rolling out the wrist if you need to. We're going to combine those two for our bird dog. So opposite arm and opposite leg. Reach long. And slowly lower. If you've done bird dog quite a bit and it feels relatively stable for you, meaning not so much wobbliness, I would like you to challenge yourself by lifting both toes off of your mat. This can be harsh for the knees, so if you need to fold your mat, feel free to do so. So what it looks like is both toes lift. Now, this really changes the game for our bird dog. Even just a hover off of your mat is a big challenge. Placing it back down. Switching sides. Maybe just a lift is all we have. This really takes our points of contact from 6, both hands, both knees, both feet, to just 2 points of contact. Last one on each side. Relax down in child's pose. Hips can come towards your heels, knees a little bit wider. Reach forward. Awesome job. Inhaling through the nose and exhale. Release and relax everything down towards your mat. One more like that. Inhaling and exhale. Letting go. We're going to stay in this child's pose here, but we're going to do an exercise for the shoulders. Separate your hands about the distance of your mat, and then thumbs are going to point upwards towards the ceiling. Keep your forehead relaxed down, and then take your shoulders down away from your ears. All you're going to do here is try your best to just lift one arm off of your mat, even if it's just covering, and then placing it down, switching sides. Good. This might feel really challenging, harder than you would expect. That's because we're using some smaller muscles here. Last one on each side. Perfect. Come all the way forward onto your bellies. We're going to reach arms overhead, legs long. And then from here, starting by lifting belly button up off of our mat, engaging our core for a slow swimmy. So opposite arm, opposite leg is going to reach as long as you can away from the center of the body, and then lift. Slowly lower down. Exhale, reach and lift. No pressure or tension in the back. On this next one, starting to speed it up just a little bit more, lifting and lowering. Lift, lower. On this next one, either hold at this speed or hovering both arms, both legs for a flutter kick. Head comes with you, but it stays neutral. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest your forehead on your stacked hands. Take a nice deep breath in, exhale, relax it out. From here, we're going to bring one cheek to one side of your mat and arms relaxed down by your sides. We're going to kick both heels in towards our hips. Pulse for 2, and then exhale, reach your hands long for 2 and lift your chest. Cheek drops to the other side. Pulse in for 2 with the feet. Exhale, I'm flipping my palms down and maintaining a nice long line. Few more just like that. Pulse in for 2. Exhale, reach long. Neck stays neutral. And last one. Perfect. Pressing back into child's pose. We are going to set up and prepare for a few planks here. Option to have your hands down or your forearms down. If your forearms are down, I would encourage you to keep them parallel instead of clasping through your hands. So if you can, forearms nice and parallel, maybe palms up towards the ceiling as well. From here, reach one leg back, and then the other. We're going to start with a nice hold. Option to stay down on your knees as well. Breathe here. Find a nice long line all the way from your heels through the top of your head. Your forearms or hands are pressing down hard into your mat so that your upper back is nice and broad. As soon as you feel your forearms start to slack or droop, take a break. Last 3, 2, and 1. Relax down. Perfect. For this second set, we're going to add a little tap with our foot. So back into our nice strong plank position. Our tap is going to be out to the side. So taking one leg and tapping it just to the side of your mat and back in. Switching sides, tap and in. Trying your best to keep still everywhere else. Last 2. And 1. Relax down if you need to. Shake out those wrists if you need to. Our final set here is going to be some hip dips, getting the obliques involved a little bit. So what this looks like is back into our nice strong plank. From here, we're just going to dip one hip down and then raise it back to our starting position. So the trick here is to make sure that it's not our entire legs rocking, and trying our best to keep the feet actually very still. So while you're doing this, maybe take a quick peek down at the feet and keep those heels pointing up towards the ceiling. Last one on each side. And relax down, perfect. From here, we're going to press back into our hands and knees. We're going to need our ball or our block once again. And it's going to squeeze back into our knee pit, I like to call it. From here, nice, strong, and flat back, engaging through the core. Exhale, we're just going to print that foot up towards the ceiling and then slowly lower. Exhale, squeeze. Noticing that as you lift, your back doesn't change shape. If you notice it starting to arch, maybe don't lift quite as high up. You might also notice that your bottom leg and bottom hip are actually doing a lot of work as well. On this next one, same exact thing, except this time we're going to take it out to the side in a fire hydrant. So, both knee and ankle are moving together. Also, if you need to come down onto your forearms with this one, you totally can. Good. 2 more. Perfect. And take that ball or block, take it to the other side. Taking a nice squeeze. And from here, exhale, engage the core, and starting with our straight back and up. Focusing less on how high up you can go and more so just maintaining our neutral spine. On this last one, switching to our fire hydrant, so knee goes right out to the side. Good. Few more here. Feeling the work in both sides, the right and the left. Last one. Good. And relax down. Take that ball or block away. And then slide the feet through and forward once again. Legs are going to come forward. We're going to have the ball or block right in our laps here. So this is a really good exercise for helping to lengthen the spine and for posture. So from here, hands are going to come in towards our chest, elbows wide. Exhale, we're going to reach up and over that ball or block. And then inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower back down to the chest. This is helping us to find length, almost like we're lifting up and over our object here. So exhale, reach, lengthen. Inhale up. Good. Last one here. Perfect. Grab that ball or block in between the hands again. Slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Pause about right here halfway. Exhale, twist to the right side and squeeze in. Pause and release. Exhale, switch to the other side. Squeeze, pause, and release. Exhale, switch. Trying our best to relax through the legs. On this last one, twist, squeeze, and hold little pulses further down towards our mat. Last 3, 2, 1. Exhale, twist to the other side. Hold the twist. Little pulses, little reaches. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it back to the center. Fold over those legs. Placing the ball to the side. Maybe swaying gently, rocking from side to side if that feels good. Maybe flexing the feet if that feels good. One last deep breath here. Sinking lower to the ground. Taking your right leg and hugging it towards your chest. Option to cross that foot over the other leg and hug in. Sit up as tall as you can. Option here to twist further, looking over your right shoulder. Unwinding slowly, taking that foot back up and over, straightening it out. Left leg hugs into the chest. Either hold here and stretch, or take that foot across the other leg and hug in, sitting up tall. Either stay here or start to twist to the left, looking over your left shoulder. Perfect. Back towards the center. Unhook that foot. And both legs go back to straight. We're going to go ahead and crisscross those legs, sitting towards the front. Take your chest towards one knee, maybe framing that knee, and slowly lower, anchoring that hip down towards your mat. Feeling a nice stretch through the low back and the side body. And framing the other side, lowering the chest. Back to the center. Grab your ball or block. If you have your block, maybe make it on the tall setting. Hands are going to stack one on top of the other right in front of you. So, connecting this whole idea that we've been working on tonight about maintaining this circuit and engaging the core. All we're going to do is with arms straight, we're going to exhale and press gently down, tucking your rib cage in, and feel your core connect. Inhale, release. Try that a few more times and see if that idea of tucking down and in makes sense in a sitting position. Exhale. Inhale, release. This one always makes me think of CPR because your hands are in this position and your arms are pretty straight. Appreciating that we can not only just engage the core on our backs and on our sides, but also in sitting and hopefully transferring this idea to our day-to-day life when we're sitting at a desk. Exhale, drawing that belly button up and in. Last one. Perfect. With this newfound activation and length through our core and spine, hold that sensation here. Good. From here, keep that length. Either hand or elbow comes down towards the floor. Reach up and over. Circle this top arm round. Last one. And switching sides, hand or elbow, anchor hip, reaching up and over. Nice long stretch. Circling top arm. And sit back up nice and tall. Clasp your hands together. Round your upper back a lot. Reach your hands forward. Look at your belly button. Option to take those hands side to side, feeling a deeper stretch in the upper back. Back to the center. Inhale. Reach the hands behind you. Chest opens. Exhale. Release. Now for the best part, we're going to inhale and draw shoulders up towards your ears. Squeeze your toes, your hands, your eyes, and every single muscle that you possibly can. All that pressure and tension and stress in. And then exhale, shake it out and relax it down. One more just like that. Inhale everything up and in. Squeeze your eyes, your whole face, your legs, your toes, and just let it go. And as we come into, again, this busy season, maybe practicing that idea of pulling everything in and then letting it go, and just feeling that release always is nice. Please let me know if you have any questions about any of the newer things that I had talked about, especially that last seated exercise. Hopefully that made a lot of sense and you could feel it working.